Addiction is a multifaceted issue that normally affects individuals, it affects families and the entire community at large. This is the Youth Voice Show on Hope Channel Uganda. My name is Mudubira Angela and I'm your host for today. Today we are going to be discussing a very important issue, a very important topic that touches us all. I believe that this topic resonates with us all because it has become a point of discussion in our communities. It has become a point of discussion where we reside and at our places of work and in various spaces. We are going to be looking at overcoming addictions, but specifically for this show, we are going to look at drugs and substance use. It has become a song everywhere that we go, because everywhere you go, we are looking at people having problems of addiction, but related to drugs and substance use. That is why we deemed it very important that we talk about this topic today on our panel discussion. Before we dive further into our topic today, allow me introduce the group of people with me here that are going to help us understand this topic very, very well. My immediate neighbor here is Laban Musinguzi. He is a civil engineer by profession, and this is not the very first time that he's here on the Youth Voice Show. Laban, you're most welcome.
Thank you.
Next there we have a beautiful lady, and she's called Kaitesi Elizabeth. This is her maiden appearance on the Youth Voice Show. She is a public health practitioner. You are most welcome.
Thank you very much.
Still, his maiden appearance right there is that gentleman. His name is Joshua Othieno, and he is a mental health doctor from Joppa Clinical Consult. You are most welcome.
Amen.
And lastly, we have Caroline Abuo. She is also a public health practitioner. She's always a happy person. We are glad to have you here on this show today.
Thank you so much.
That is the team that is here today, and we are going to be talking about what addiction is. So what to expect in this show, our dear viewer, we are going to understand generally what addiction is, specifically drug and substance use. We are going to look at the causes of addiction relating to the drugs and substance use. We are going to see how we can overcome addiction. We are going to see how we can be a support system to people that are already victims of this addiction. We are going to look at those substances that people get addicted to. We are going to look out for hope, recovery, and how to make sure that people stop falling victims of addiction, and those that are already are, how can they come out of that pit? Because it is self-destruction. So before we go any further, I want to bring Mr. Othieno here on board to help us understand generally what is addiction, and specifically addiction to drug and substance use. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, Madam Angela. To our viewers, the word addiction is a bit wide, but briefly, this is the compulsive seeking of a substance, even if it gives you a negative effect. A young girl at the age of 20 was addicted to some substance, and whenever I could visit her, she was ever in tears and crying. Many people out there, they have a compulsive seeking, like you want something. This lady, this girl, had some compulsive seeking towards a drug, and she could not get off it. Those,
she could not live without it.
Yes. Some people there have an addiction. They want to live, but they can't. That's why we are here today, to help you, our dear viewer, get off that burden.
So specifically about drug and substance, what can you talk about addiction on drugs and substance before I bring in another person on board?
Yes, on drugs, this is a burden of course, many people, all age, the youth, the old, the young, they have a burden of drugs. Some people get it willingly, the addiction. Some people have it by not choice, and some people find themselves in that condition. Drugs ever on market, free and accessible, so we are under a real hard burden, which needs to us to intervene.
Yes, Carol, what can you talk about addiction to drugs and substance?
When we talk about addiction to drug and substance, this is where your body and mind are used to something, that so-called drug or substance, that they cannot do anything without it. Your body and mind have become so addicted to this particular drug or substance, where we shall maybe mention them, but you cannot just live without them. Your body yearns for them even before you ask for them. It is because it has eaten you up and you cannot live basically without them.
Yes, Elizabeth, what can you talk about addiction?
All I can say about addiction is like searching for relief in places that are not reliable, let me say. Like having something that controls you more than you control it. So coming to drugs and substances, it's that drug that controls you more than the way you control it. Because there are many types, so it can be cocaine, it can be any other type of drug, and there is a way it controls you that you cannot be there without it more than the way you control it. Yeah, that's what it is.
Thank you so much. And then lastly, Laban, what can you talk about addiction?
When we are speaking about substance abuse, addiction, we are not speaking merely about a bad habit. We are speaking about a merciless master that holds with invisible grips and refuses to go. We are talking about a thief that steals destinies in silence.
Sure.
Youths that had dreams are now lost in haze. We are talking about tears of many parents whose hearts are sinking in muds of despair, looking at their little children in whom they invested in much sacrifice, love, being claimed by the merciless hand of these addictions. And to some of us it is personal. We have stood over graves of our dear brother to me, sisters and friends, and wiping tears, mourning their loss and gone too soon. So it is very hard to sugarcoat such a topic. It is really, really very hard. It is reality. It is raw. And I pray that in this conversation, we get courage and compassion, because behind every addiction, there is a story of someone there in progress and who needs to save. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So, our dear viewer, I think that from what our dear panelists have said, you have clearly understood what we are going to talk about. We are going to talk about addiction, drugs and substance use. So we have understood what addiction is, and I want us to understand what are the major causes of addiction. I want to start from my extreme right while coming this way. I want you to help the viewer out there understand what are the major causes of addiction to drugs and substance use.
Peer pressure. We are in a world that is evolving, and mainly in public health, we use peers. So they are really influential, so much. So when you are in a circle with your peers, there are certain things that they bring you to do, yet you don't intend yourself to do them. But just because you're in the same age bracket, you do some things,
You want to fit in
you
the
want to
group.
fit them, so you just end up going into, and in one way or the other, they can easily influence you into drug and substance abuse.
Thank you so much. Yes. What is another cause of addiction? to
Thank
drugs?
you. Let me speak about the cultural background. You know, in some cultures, for example, our place there in eastern Uganda, when a baby is born, the way of baptizing a new baby into the family, they give you a glass of ajon, at least a sip. Yeah? So the baby grows
Sure.
up, yes,
I didn't know
grows
about
up.
that.
Not all.
The baby grows up seeing ajono take as mother, father, the ajono. So I will grow up also taking ajono and the other. Then the last one I will give before my colleague is the media. You people, media has done a lot. Someone can put an advert on TV. Wow, when you take such a drink, you become a lion. Oh! Then all youth will run for that drink, but the content of that drink, drugs, kabisa. So,
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yes, Elizabeth.
So, and okay, when we realize in places like slums, in ghetto, you say, let me say, for example, Katwe, one of the major causes for me, okay, when I look at places like that, I can say unemployment. Because, these people can be there and they are like, me and my people, like, we don't have anything to do. All we have to do is sit down, play cards, and drink, and we wait for the night. So these people, they have that emptiness. They lack what to do. So in order to be happy, to be lively, like have peace, that's what they do. Like, and they wait for the night, and they wait for another day. So I think that causes addiction more and more. The other thing I can say, let me say, role models. Like, there are people not in, let me say, people not in the religious setting outside there. They can look at a person, like, and they're like, my role model takes this and this before this person comes on stage and performs. So when this person looks at that person, is like, my role model does this, so I'm also supposed to do this. So that can bring in addiction for this young child or person coming up. Yeah.
And lastly, Laban, a
Yeah.
cause of addiction.
Yeah, I will maybe talk about the few they have spoken. When you look at mostly media, culture, society that is molded today by social media, and you look at there is a face they show the world, and there is the reality they hide. Because now youths are being shown maybe these celebrities, smoking, partying, and having these drugs, but these people are struggling with mental health. They're struggling with accidents, arrests, and so this a youth seeing will perceive the face they are showing, and but there is reality there in concealment. And on her point, 80% of the unemployed, when a survey was made here in Chisenyi, 80% of the unemployed were drug addicts, and 20% of the employed were, only 20% of the employed were drug addicts, But then there are many causes. Here in Uganda, drugs are so cheap. They are so available. I was speaking with one yesterday but one, and he was telling me, man, things that are so cheap. They are so cheap. I can access them anywhere, anytime, and cheaply. And actually, the there is a projection from the African Union Commission and the UN Office on Drug and Crime that by 2050, a third of the drug addicts will be in East Africa. Why? The major reason is its affordability and availability here in East Africa. So those are causes, and yeah.
Thank you so much, Laban. So our dear viewer, my panelists here have shared what they think or what the causes of addiction to drugs are. I do not know what other cause you think they have left out.
Maybe what is so important is mental illness, anxiety, sorrow. The causes may be many for this. It may be, we've talked about unemployment, poverty. There may be also health complications. Yeah. And you know, when someone is in this anxiety and has no one to comfort or is not well equipped with knowledge, many of them seek to cope up with these drugs.
Thank you so much. So, still saying that our dear viewer, they have talked about a lot of causes of addiction. What do you think are those causes of addiction that have not been mentioned here? You can put them in our comment section as we continue to follow our discussion. We are talking about a very sensitive matter. So in all the causes they have talked about, I think he has talked about stress, he has talked about anxiety. And I want to believe that all these have contributed to the number of people that are addicted to drugs. I want us to understand how trauma, stress, and mental health conditions, how have they contributed to drug use or drug abuse? I want to start with the mental health doctor we have on panel today. How do you think those have contributed to drug addiction?
Now, when we talk about drug addiction, someone there, you think about alcohol, marijuana, fentanyl.
Yes, actually help us even understand the drugs we are talking about.
Relaxing. These people are talking about things I'm not concerned about. Now, check your fridge right now. There is a soft drink you bought yesterday
Coca-Cola.
to relax your mind. Read the content. It has caffeine, a high-level drug. Check your cup where you keep medicine. There is medicine, and the content is caffeine and codeine. Reason, when you reach home, sit rest, you take some 2 tablets, you relax.
Antidepressants.
You relax. The painkillers, stimulant. So you're stressed with work, you have worked a full day, you go home, you take, I want to mention a brand, a medicine with caffeine and codeine. You feel peace. So that peace, relaxing you feel when you're stressed.
Comes at a cost.
Since you feel peace after taking that medicine, you will urge to take it more and
That
more.
you feel better.
End up getting an addiction to the medicine, and you will be under a burden you won't handle, my dear friend.
Thank you so much. Yes, Carol, how does stress and trauma contribute to drug addiction?
Now, we have stress in different manners. It could be work, it could be family, it could be friends, or any other thing that could form the stress. But remember, stress triggers your mental health well-being. It alone, because it causes a lot of uneasiness. You feel like you can't do anything because you're stressed. At the end of it all, what are you going to try to do? I once had a friend who was a doctor. I don't know, because we lost contact. He was so busy, and he was a doctor, mind you. But now because he used to have constant headaches, he started to take painkillers. So he started from, of course, the normal one, the paracetamol that we all take, But with time, he advanced to tramadol. Now, the tramadol, he was not taking the tablets, or it's a capsule. He was taking the injection, okay? And he became so addicted. I think, I don't know, because we lost contact with him, but it was so severe that he got addicted to a drug, yet he's a doctor. What am I trying to say here? Is anything, any drug, it could be Panadol, it could be any other drug, you can just become addicted to it just because it's trying to help you cool down from whatever thing that you're facing, from whatever stress that you're having, from anything that is causing you discomfort. You just find yourself going into the direction. And once you do not get help that you need, you just become addicted. And you cannot live without it.
Yes, Elizabeth, how trauma leads to drug addiction?
It was stress trauma, right?
Yes.
Let me say, like the way you, there is this drug people normally use. If at all they have like an exam tomorrow, work, they take it so that they don't sleep, and they make sure they are alert 24/7. And you know these things are kind of weird because some people take it and they grasp everything they read and they pass, by the way. Some do. So I feel like sometimes like the situations people pass through, the stress, the trauma, someone may have lost a dad, a parent, brings them to addiction. Like they take that drug or substance in order for them to find relief, and then for a short period of time. What these people don't know that if you take that drug, after some time you again need it, and so that brings in about like addiction. Like you repeat it, just like that, and then you become addicted. So it's a lot of circumstances that make people come to that. And yeah, stress trauma is a high percentage is part of it. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So our dear viewer, according to what our panelists have told us, everyone can be a victim of addiction. You are not an exception, because very many times when we talk about drug addiction, we look at the people that take alcohol, we look at the people that smoke, we look at the people that take all those kinds of drugs that we look at as drugs in our perspective. But we have learned that you can also be a victim of drug and substance use, and eventually you can get addicted. We have looked at this topic. It is a very interesting one and very helpful. Let's invite in other people to come and view, because this is knowledge that we need other people to also get to know. We feel like if it goes out to a big number of people, we can reduce the rate of drug addicts, and we can have a peaceful society. We can have a drug-free or an addiction-free society. So we are going in for a very short break, but when we come back, we are going to look at the consequences of addiction, and we are going to look at recovery. How best can I leave addiction? How do I stop taking this drug that I've gotten addicted to? Do not leave Hope Channel Uganda. This is the Youth Voice Show. We shall be right back. Welcome back to the Youth Voice Show, and this is Hope Channel Uganda. My name is Mudubira Angela. Thank you so much for those that have just joined us. We are discussing drug addiction. We have talked about a number of issues about addiction in the first segment of this show, and we are back again to continue to digest this topic so that by the end of it all, we have all learned and we can make an impact in the areas where we reside, in the communities where we work from and where we study from, where you pray from. Be an agent of change. I know that by the end of this discussion, we are all going to have picked something very, very important that we can share with someone out there that is struggling with addiction. Back in this segment, we are going to be talking about the consequences, the short-term and long-term effects of drug addiction. I want to start with Laban here to help us understand what effects does drug addiction have on the person that takes the drugs first.
The consequences are, first of all, this addiction makes you a slave. In that you are powerless, and I think this is the first consequence. Then others will come in, and we have social fabrics that are destroyed. For example, we can talk about the social instabilities. You have crime, steered or triggered by the desires to fund these addictions. People don't work, and they are lacking. They feel the body is demanding. Remember, the body now depends. You are at a level whereby the body demands it. It's like it depends on it, and you have to make sure by hook or crook you get the drug. So crime rates. Then you have loss of productivity, and this can be in two ways. First of all, time. The time you put in these substance, using them, looking for them, and the time it puts you down. We've seen in my civil engineering field, I have their colleagues who take it to get energy, such that they work so much. And actually, it seems it works for them, but in the long run, they break. And the productivity then comes in. They lose the productivity in the long run. And also, we can talk about the mental disorders. We can talk about, I think the medics will talk about it so much, the chronic effects we've heard of, liver cancer, the lungs. Yeah. And in the long run, it will affect you. Police recently has reported an increased use of injected drugs, heroin, mostly here in Uganda. And the problem is that you find a group of 20 using one injection, one syringe to inject the drug. And if one is HIV positive, the 19 have 99% chances to
contract the disease.
Yeah, to contract the disease.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Laban. Yes, Elizabeth, want to understand what are those consequences of drug addiction?
I think my colleague Laban has summarized most, but let me give an example for a drug people normally love, the one for chewing. It's Cuba. Like, people enjoy it so much. Like, they can be moving around, someone is chewing. When they don't know the consequences, that drug can make them have mouth cancer, and other health-related issues that come with it. I think people normally take these drugs because maybe they don't know, maybe they lack information about it, and that also is a problem. Like, some take them because they are not educated about the things that come with it. So making it a problem, they won't advise themselves and talk about what comes out after. So we've seen people when you go to courts, you know, these things are so, like, even funny. You find an old man, and they are charging him for a case of rape. He raped a 5-year-old, and this man, when they ask him, like, what happened with you, and the person only says, I don't know what happened, just know me, I used my thing, and then this came in, like, after I found myself here. You know, like, I think we need more to educate the people, like, about the consequences, because that lack of them not knowing is also, like, a big problem, like, to them all. Yeah.
Thank you so much. It breaks my heart, and it is hard to take in the fact that we are losing very many young people to drug addiction. We have lost the people that would have been very productive in the future.
Yeah.
Families have lost support systems. Parents have lost their children. Children have lost their parents. We have lost friends, all to drug addiction. It is not something that we can underrate because it has dire consequences like they have discussed. But I believe it would be injustice if we do not talk about stigma, the stigma that comes with drug addiction or someone who is in the journey of recovery from addiction. I want Mr. Othieno to start by talking about stigma, and I think Cairo there. Let us talk about stigma, the stigma that comes with addiction and how it may be hard for someone to recover from addiction because of the stigma that the society gives them. Yes, please.
Yes, one of the issues accompanying the drug addiction, as you said, it's stigma. When you take that thing, the fentanyl and all of them, as you have heard, of course you will become useless in the society. First of all, it can go far to make you a mental candidate, a mental patient. You come to our facilities there. Being a mental candidate now, restless, irritable, it will bring stigma in the community. Of course, a man who was working for himself very well, right now you are admitted and useless. Allow me briefly talk about this. A man around 30 years was a hawker around our place there. He couldn't begin a day without taking a drug. Reason, they announced on TV that when you take this kind of drink, you fly like a ghost. So you push even big cars. The man used to take that thing daily in the morning.
Did he push the cars?
I don't know. He started feeling headache and pain in the stomach. For some time, he started taking painkillers, of course, with, again, caffeine. Came to our facility, checked and diagnosed with high blood pressure. 30 years. We referred him for endoscopy. They discovered he had peptic ulcer and severe wounds. Reason, drugs, these drinks, the soda we enjoy with the caffeine and with those drugs. So he's now undergoing 2 surgeries, 30 years old, and is taking medicine for pressure the whole life because of drugs.
So touching.
Sorry.
Yes, I have something to say. I see you're getting emotional, but talk about stigma.
The stigma that comes around with addiction is unbearable. Reason being, you as an addicted person, you've led to very many things. If you were a family man, just like the way he has said, your family has broken. Okay? You've maybe gone into domestic violence. So with that, of course, the community is not going to give you respect. No. It is going to start discriminating you. Your children themselves, they're going to start talking ill about you. Okay? Because you've not showed a very good example to them. and neither to the community itself. Your friends are going to start discriminating you because they're not going to see me associating with someone who does drugs. I'm not going to be associating myself with someone who beats up their family, who is not taking care of their families. An addicted person cannot even take care of any other person.
Because if you fail to take care of yourself, then how can you take care of other
Thank you.
people?
So at the end of it all, you're just going to be you alone. And that is what stigma is all about. You're going to be stigmatized to a point that you might even end up killing your own self because you feel you no longer have the value in the community that you once had in. So that is how stigma can be related to addiction.
Thank you so much for sharing those wonderful thoughts about stigma. So at that point, I want us to get solutions. I believe that you and me can be support systems.
Yeah.
We can end addiction to drugs. You can be a support system to someone that is battling with addiction. And how best can these people be helped? How can we help people that are undergoing addiction? I want to start with Elizabeth. How can we help these people? Where can they go to? Where can they run to? Who can be their support system? What do they need to know? Yes, please.
Okay, let me give an example. When we were talking to men, we were in a hospital, I'm not going to say the name, we wanted to tell them about their wives, taking care of their wives and all that. We took them into a room, and then instead of us starting with, instead of us complaining to them, why do you do this and this? Your women report to us this and this. We instead started with starting with few things, telling them about what challenges have you found at the hospital, all that stuff. So we gave them an idea that we are there to listen to them. Then after we tell them their information. So my point there would be, we should recognize, before we tell these people that stop using drugs and all that, we should recognize the root cause, first of all. Why did you start taking this drug? You have to go back to the background. What was the first problem? This person can tell you, I was having so much headache. I was having stress at work, so I developed headaches, so I started using this drug. So us understanding the root cause, it will help us go back and maybe try to fix that. It can make even a person go to and start looking where that happened from, at work. How am I going to manage this type of thing I'm dealing with at work? Then from there, this person may find time and put in efforts to make sure they remove that root cause, what happened at first. Then with that, addiction can be erased slowly by slowly.
Thank you so much. So if we get rid of the root cause of the addiction, that means we shall not have people taking drugs. If stress is what makes a person take the drugs to an extent of getting addicted, let's realize, why is this person stressed?
Yeah.
What is stressing them? Can we get rid of it? If we can, then that means this person will no longer need the drug that they are taking. Thank you. That is very, very insightful. Yes, Laban, another solution.
Yeah, on the same thing, when we talk about support systems, we are talking about everyone. We are talking about the individual, we are talking about the friends, the brothers, the mental health personnel. We are talking about the community structure.
Yeah.
And this collective responsibility is at the root of every cause and at the heart of every solution. Because when you look at the causes of addiction, you will find that most of them, we've seen unemployment. Others, we've seen stress.
Yeah.
Now, one can offer a job opportunity or a skill training, while another may offer comfort, another one may offer knowledge or medical care. And that's the essence of society. And the same thing, on the same issue, you'll find that this stigma at some point now it comes back to us because there is a lot of ignorance in society. People, they have misconceptions on rehabilitation. People don't know the help that is present. I tell you, if you are told what is happening at Vutabika and how they are helping many people to recover, you would get surprised.
Yeah.
These people are helped and even given skills and able to come back to society. But the problem is the society has been locked in this stigma and it cannot welcome back them. You know, these people, now they feel that they want to come back. They need that hand, they need that shoulder to lean on. But when they come back, they are rejected, and you know, and when they repulse, they may not go back to seek help. And it even preempts others who may want to seek, because they know that when you go to a rehabilitation center, you are mad, you are naive. And I think technically, mad is not a technical word. That's why I use mental illness and what. They believe that everyone is able to recover.
Yeah.
And people recover.
Yes.
So people should be told what is happening. There is a lot of help, and that is society.
Thank you so much. So, our dear viewer, you have a role to play in reducing the rate of drug addiction in our country today. There is something that you can do. Everyone is capable of doing something to make sure that we get rid of drug addiction. Yes, I want to bring our Musao also on board. What other solution can we have for drug addiction?
Yes, a senior consultant, that level, in a big hospital surgeon, got some minor injury. Because he had access to big painkillers like morphine, he started using them slowly. Now, he got caught up and got addiction. He started using morphine and pethidine the whole of his life. Now, came to the facility and was managed. Listen to me. If you have an addiction, my dear viewer, my dear friend, one, accept that you have a problem.
Yeah.
It's a bit hard, but we can make it. In like accept. Two, take a lot of water. If you are an addict and you're seeing me, a lot of water. Have a heavy breakfast daily. Have breakfast. Another one. Try to bathe warm water in the morning. And cold water at night if you have an addiction. Then you can seek help from a professional, or you can go to any bigger facility, hospital, for help. And other measures they will follow.
Thank you so much. Yes, Carol, what other solution can we have?
Well, I think they have spoken everything. But maybe we can talk about the spiritual aspect. You know, God does not condemn anyone. He welcomes everyone.
And he loves everyone.
Thank you.
The way they are.
So once you accept that you have a problem of addiction and you turn to God, He's willing to welcome you. And if at all that time you were using to practice that addiction, that addictive maybe substance that you are taking, you change it to maybe prayer, it could help. But the most important part of it all is to accept that you have the problem of addiction and seek help where necessary. And actually, the earlier the better. Addiction is it's recoverable. Like you can recover from it, but it also takes a step for you to accept that you can recover, for you to be able to recover from it.
The only way, yes, please.
We talk about also being occupied and busy. Most people get addicted because sometimes they're idle. Yes, get busy, get something to do, get games to play football, go out and move and do
Actually,
some adventures.
People normally say that the way they get busy is by taking the drugs. That is what is making them busy. But do something productive, our dear viewer. Do something productive in that idle time that you have. Make sure that you're always occupied so that you do not have space. You know, they normally say that an idle mind is the devil's workshop.
Yeah.
So make sure there is something that is productive, that is occupying you. Together we can end drug addiction. We can have a drug-free community. She talked about the spiritual aspect. You can find hope in the Lord.
Yeah.
As you're doing all those things that they have talked about, as you get medical help, as you seek medical attention, as you do all the things that we have talked about, always remember that you can pray about it and the Lord is willing to help you overcome it. God can help you go through it. We are about to come to the end of our show, although we had a lot in stock still to talk about. I want these people to give us their parting shots, something, a statement or two that you want our viewer to know about drug addiction before we leave. I'm going to start with Carol there.
The process of healing from addiction starts with yourself. Accept, and you can recover from it.
Thank you so much.
Yes, you alone, you may not be able to overcome addiction, so pray hard. God can make you a success.
Thank you.
For me, what I can say is love yourself. If you love yourself, you will want to keep a healthy life, and with that, you will try to find always in order for you to overcome addiction.
Thank you so much.
Be proactive and not reactive. You may think you are so strong. Maybe take a test. You will wake up in the hands of the master, and your will be overridden. Yeah.
Thank you so much. It has been so wonderful having these people with me here on this panel today as we discuss a very important topic that concerns a number of young people and old people as well. I think it is non-discriminative because everyone can fall victim of addiction at any point in time. It has been a very insightful discussion, and I want to believe that you have learned a lot, because I personally have learned a lot from these people right here. And thank you so much for allowing to be hosted on this show today. And thank you so much for sharing knowledge with very many people out there. I know there are many people that need to hear this information that you have shared with them. It has been wonderful to have you. And do not forget to always keep it Hope Channel Uganda. This is the Youth Voice Show. I have been the host for today, and my name is Mudubira Angela. Thank you so much. Till we meet next time.